So now what are some do's and don'ts? Like what are the things that you hear some clients call you and you're like, oh my God, why did you do that? Like what's the part that drives you nuts?
Yeah, yeah. Big one is when they don't get any information on the other party, right? So they take pictures of the cars or something, and they just don't get any information on the driver. The Something that you always should ask for is driver's license, or proof of identification, and then proof of insurance so that we can open the claim as quickly as possible. Sometimes what happens, police might arrive at the scene and tell people not to interact with each other, which is fine. Obviously, listen to the police, right? But it's really important that you at least take pictures of the license plate frames, because we can run that and then figure out who the other party is. Because sometimes police reports can take 4, 5, 6 weeks before we get any information on the other person. So always try to get information on the other party, whether there's a police present or not. Another big no-no is filing your own claim or filing a claim with the other party's insurance. What they're going to try to do immediately is get a recorded statement. And what I tell people, talking to the insurance is almost like talking to the police. Anything you say will be used against you, right? Like I've mentioned before, insurance companies are for profit. So they're going to start asking questions to try to either deny coverage altogether, deny liability, or minimize your overall settlement value, right? So they'll ask questions to see if they can completely deny coverage. And I've had this happen where, so-and-so, a 23-year-old is living at home with his parents, but his parents don't have him on the insurance policy. That's grounds for exclusion. So you're essentially driving as an uninsured person. Yeah, the car is insured, but you're not listed on the policy because you live at home with, your parents. And that's grounds for exclusion. Or they'll ask you how you're feeling. You could have been in an accident within that first hour, and you call. You're like, oh, I feel fine right now, right? And that might be the case at the moment, but
Yeah.
that's because you have all this adrenaline pumping through you. You wake up the next morning totally sore, can't turn your neck, your back is hurting, but you'd already told the insurance company you feel fine, and they're going to use that statement against you just to minimize the overall claim. Or, sometimes people don't advocate for themselves well. The way that they explain the accident, and might sound like you might be at fault when that's not the case. And so they'll use your words to be like, oh, it was your fault that you caused the accident, so we're not providing you any coverage.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so those are big no-nos.
Going back to something else, you said that, exchanging information. What if the other person refuses to, or I don't want to give it to them? Is there anything wrong with
Which
that?
happens. No, I mean, it's against the law, right? You were involved in an accident. If
Okay.
they refuse to cooperate, it could be grounds for potential like hit and run, right?
Right.
So, obviously I tell people to remain calm at the scene, no reason for a shouting match or anything. If they for whatever reason refuse to provide you with their insurance or their license, at least get a picture of the plates, because
Right.
then we can run it and start an investigations. And they might not want to give you any information, but when they receive a letter from my firm requesting their insurance information, people freak out.
Right.
um,
Yeah. Nobody loves getting a letter from an attorney. That's for
yeah,
sure.
that's for sure.
I always tell clients like, yeah, you want a response, you want something on a company letterhead coming from an attorney, and they know it's serious, that you're not messing around.